Morning.
Morning, Alan. How you going, mate?
Very good.
Luke from Coast FM. Just talk to us about the excitement levels around the club heading into the season.
Yeah, look, obviously, first game of the season is exciting at any point in time, but especially when it's against Newcastle. So it just gives it that extra little bit of spice and motivation to, hit the ground running.
And with your visa players, how far are they away from obviously entering the country and then being on the park?
Look, they just landed the other day. So two of them are up to about day 4 or day 5 in quarantine, and one of them's up to day 3. So we're still another 10 or 12 days from seeing them out of quarantine. And, shortly after that, we'll get them on the park. They'll probably get 1 or 2 training sessions in before our round 3 and 4 matches. So we'll just have to see what level they're at before we progress and see how much game time they can get.
Alen, it's Marco.
Sorry, who was that?
Sorry, Marco from News Corp Australia. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. From what you were just saying, you got a couple of guys still in quarantine. Some other clubs are in the same situation. Do you think these early games, and because of what's happened with, postponements, all this stuff, that we won't sort of get a true gauge of how things are until maybe like a month into the season?
Look, it's a fair question, and we don't know the answer to that, to be honest. Look, every club's got its own unique difficulties that they're dealing with, and COVID's just made it a little bit tougher to organise teams, to recruit. Lower budgets. The floor's been dropped by 30 or 40%. The cap's come down. So, look, every club's got its unique difficulties that they're trying to, sort of weave their way through, and we're no exception. And, for us, trying to get these 3 boys out of quarantine is a priority, and getting them up to speed as quick as we can.
You're saying every club had its challenges. Like, obviously, Newcastle's challenges have been well documented throughout the, past few weeks. Are you wary of them tomorrow night a bit because of that?
Well, look, for sure, they've still got the squad they had last year. They're missing Dimi Petraros, who's obviously been a key player for them for 2 or 3 years. But, I'm always wary of, the wounded bull. They've taken a few hits to their pride. But when you've got players like Bogart and Topper and O'Donovan and Agarkovic and, Jack Duncan in goals now, Hoffman, look, it's just a team filled with so much experience. So, look, I think they'll be wanting to prove a point. So it's probably more to the advantage of the squad in uniting the squad and bringing them all together. The fact that they've had this, overcome so much adversity in their pre-season.
Mate, it's been a tough few years in terms of results for the Mariners. What's a target for you guys this season?
Look, we're aiming to get in the finals. We put together a good squad. We built a good foundation last year and showed some signs of progression, certainly on the year before. As I've articulated to the group, when we arrived the year before, the team had 1 win under their belt. Last year, we picked up 8 wins, 5 in the league and 3 in the FFA Cup, which was the most wins that this club's had since, 2013-14. So, it's starting from the bottom and building from the bottom, and it's always tough. It's always the heavy lifting. But now a lot of our young players, this will be their 2nd year, and they got a little bit of A-League experience under their belt, and, got Matt Simon, obviously, who's crucial from a leadership perspective in guiding these young players. But then also to add someone like Oliver Zanic into the group has been, a wonderful coup for our team. So, those leaders, along with, Birighetti and these youngsters coming through, are really a good recipe for us to show some even more improvement this year.
Yeah, hi, Alan. Anna from AAP. Is that where the improvement comes from? Those kids that have got that bit of a base, I guess, now and can sort of kick on, they sort of have more of an idea of what it takes and can be, I guess, more consistent A-League performers?
Look, it's always tough with young players, as everyone knows. There's a bit of second-year syndrome for some players. Hopefully for our players, that's not the case, and they improve and grow and get more consistent, as you alluded to. So, we had 7 to 8 kids come into our team last year, and we probably got even more this year. About 12 or 13 training with a group, and by kids I mean players sort of age between 17, 18, and 21, 22. So we do have a lot of youth, and it's something that the club's going to pride itself on moving forward, in having a good youth program and giving young kids an opportunity. It wasn't by fluke that soon as I came in, a lot of the young players were getting a chance and getting their opportunity to play in the A-League. And someone like Sammy Silvera, who came here on a trial and within 3 weeks had a scholarship, within a couple more months had an A-League contract, and within another 6 months he's now playing in Europe. So look, we want that to be a pathway. We want to strengthen our team as well, and be a solid team in the A-League, which we haven't been. But they're all part of the building blocks that you really need to start from scratch from, and that's what happened last year, and this is just year 2 into that process.
And you've obviously mentioned your quarantine players. How's the rest of the squad? Like, is everyone else available and ready to go?
Look, we got a couple of injuries in the squad, so we'll see how they are. We're just about to do our game day -1 session, so we'll see how they pull up today, whether they're available for the game tomorrow or not. And it's been a difficult year for the playing group in terms of how many times they've had off and had to do a pre-season and then get back together again and have time off, and then there's never been a season like it where players have had to get up and ready for a competition 3 or 4 times in 1 year. So, you've probably seen a little bit more soft tissue injuries all around the world, let alone, already in the start of the A-League, we saw in the boot go down last night with that hamstring. So, it's going to be a difficult period for a lot of teams, and especially for the players to ensure that they're at 100% peak fitness. And we'll see that evolve over the next 3-4 weeks. And, even when I look at Western United and heard the other day that they played their game and have a 21-day break, it's going to be a difficult period for the players to maintain their fitness and also their motivation and that rhythm of just playing week in, week out.
And Alen, Ollie Bozanic will lead the squad, will he?
Yes, he will, yep.
And what's it been bringing him back to the club? Obviously, being part of the championship winning teams here, but also a Central Coast local as well.
Oh, look, I mentioned Matt Simon and Ollie earlier. Like, they're just fantastic people to have. First of all, they're good people. Second of all, they're locals. Third of all, they love the club and have been successful at the club in the past. So they just bring so much to the table. Ollie's obviously spent the last few years overseas in Europe, so he brings with him, all that in his kit bag as well, being able to pass on that experience and mentality to our younger players, which is essential, just to bring that level of professionalism and dedication and love for the game. He's just a real asset to our team. And as I said, both him and Simo have done a fantastic job in pre-season in not only helping the squad on the pitch, but more importantly off the pitch.
Alen, what about Beerers in goals? Big year for him. There's been a bit of movement around the league in terms of keepers, but you managed to keep him. How do you think he'll go?
Look, Beerers had his first full season in a while as well, where he had game in, game out last year, and it's a big year for him. We just think he's got so much talent, potential. For me, he's in the top few keepers in the country if he can get to his peak form and maintain that throughout a season. So look, I agree, it is a big season for him, but I've got no doubt that the way he's trained and the way he's prepared himself over the last few weeks, that he can be one of the star keepers of the competition this year.
How's he going with Peter Zoyce there? You got the change of goalkeeper coach.
We don't like to talk about goalkeeper coaches too often. Nah, Zoyce has been fantastic. He's come in the last 6 or 7 weeks and done a fantastic job with both our keepers. Adam Pearce went to the Ollie Roos camp as well and given us that depth in that role and according to all reports did really well. So, the fact that we've got Pearce and Beerers both firing at the moment is something that's a real strong asset for our team.
Well, Alen, I got one more. Sorry, mate. You were talking about before the top 6 finish. With that thing that they brought in with the FFA Cup next year, where the bottom 4 A-League teams got to, play off to avoid, missing out on that. Is that a bit of added sort of incentive not to finish in that bottom 4?
No, well, we're aiming for the top 6. I don't think the bottom 4 and the top 6 are connected. So, look, obviously the FFA Cup was important for us last year. It's a shame that it wasn't around this season, but look, we're aiming for finals, and we want to finish as high up the ladder as we can, not for the reason of sort of that negative reinforcement, rather the positive of the club really needs to show that it can get back up on its feet and be a real force within the league, and show that regional presence is important in the A-League.